Have you ever wondered why, as we get older, the soreness after even a simple workout seems to linger longer, clinging to our muscles like a stubborn shadow? For many people past 60, what used to be a quick bounce back after exercise now feels like a drawn-out process. Aching legs after a brisk walk, stiff shoulders after gardening, or fatigue that seems to hum quietly in the background of everyday life. The truth is, aging muscles face a different battlefield than they did decades earlier. Inflammation creeps in more easily, recovery slows, and the body's natural ability to repair itself doesn't move at the same pace. Yet, here lies the good news. Science has uncovered ways to fight back, and one of the most potent tools doesn't come in a pill bottle or a fancy supplement. It comes directly from the foods you choose to place on your plate. Omega-3 fatty acids, often hidden in plain sight in certain fish, seeds, and nuts, are proving to be more than just another nutrient. They are powerful allies in calming inflammation, reducing muscle pain, and supporting the recovery process that allows you to keep moving freely even after 60. Inflammation itself is not the enemy. It's part of the body's natural defense system, a healing response when muscles are stressed or slightly injured. But the problem arises when inflammation overstays its welcome, transforming from a short-term repair signal into a long-term source of damage. That's exactly what happens in many older adults. Chronic, low-grade inflammation quietly gnaws at joints and muscles, draining energy and stealing strength. This is where omega-3s reveal their brilliance. Research from institutions like Harvard and the National Institutes of Health consistently shows how omega-3s help lower levels of inflammatory markers such as C-reactive protein, CRP, and interleukin-6. For an older adult trying to recover after exercise, or even after the daily wear and tear of living, this biochemical shift is crucial. It's like cooling down a fire that has been smoldering for too long. When those flames quiet, the body can finally turn its attention back to what it's supposed to do, repairing muscle fibers, restoring mobility, and regaining energy. Think about this in practical terms. A 65-year-old man who takes a walk every morning might notice his calves feel tight for 2 or 3 days afterward. He stretches, he rests, but the recovery drags on. If his diet is lacking omega-3s, that lingering soreness is likely being amplified by an unchecked inflammatory response. Now, imagine the same man incorporating salmon or sardines into his weekly meals, or sprinkling chia seeds and ground flaxseed into his breakfast. Over time, the difference could be remarkable. His muscles would not just feel less sore, they would rebuild more efficiently because omega-3s improve blood flow, enhance nutrient delivery, and even help regulate the balance of hormones involved in recovery. One of the most overlooked truths about omega-3s is that they don't just work on the muscles themselves. They also influence the nervous system, which plays a central role in how the body perceives pain. Studies have shown that individuals with higher omega-3 intake often report lower sensitivity to muscle soreness. This means that beyond physical repair, omega-3s also help calm the signals of discomfort being sent to the brain. It's as though the body whispers, "It's okay, you're healing," rather than shouting with pain at every step. For someone past 60, that shift can mean the difference between staying active or retreating into a sedentary lifestyle that only worsens inflammation. But, let's be honest, many people underestimate the cumulative power of small dietary changes. They think, how can a piece of fish or a handful of walnuts possibly change how my body feels at this age? Yet the science insists otherwise. Muscles are living tissue, responsive to what we feed them. Omega-3s integrate themselves into cell membranes, making those membranes more flexible and resilient. They literally reshape the biology of muscle fibers, making them better equipped to handle stress and recover from it. The result isn't instant, it's gradual, steady, and transformative. Of course, the story doesn't end at omega-3 intake alone. Balance matters. The modern diet, particularly in Western cultures, is often overloaded with omega-6 fatty acids, found in vegetable oils, processed foods, and fried snacks. While omega-6s are not inherently bad, an excess of them compared to omega-3s tips the body toward pro-inflammatory pathways. Scientists suggest that humans evolved with a balance close to 1.1 between omega-6 and omega-3. But today, many people consume ratios as high as 20.1. That imbalance fuels the very inflammation that keeps older adults stiff and sore. Shifting the ratio back by increasing omega-3 rich foods and reducing excessive omega-6 heavy oils restores harmony, creating an internal environment where muscles can thrive even in later decades. This is not about eating like a bodybuilder or obsessing over nutrition labels. It's about reclaiming the ability to enjoy life without the weight of unnecessary pain. It's about taking control of recovery, not surrendering to the idea that stiffness and weakness are inevitable after 60. Every bite of salmon, every spoonful of flaxseed, every conscious choice to replace fried snacks with wholesome options is a step toward freedom. Freedom of movement, freedom from nagging pain, freedom to live vibrantly. And once you begin to feel that difference, even subtly, the motivation to continue grows stronger than the inflammation ever was. When you think about the way muscles heal after activity, it's almost like watching a construction crew repair a road. The fibers that were stressed during movement develop tiny micro tears, and the body rushes in with tools and materials to patch them up, reinforce them, and make them stronger for the next time. In youth, this crew works quickly and efficiently. Traffic flows again almost overnight. But past 60, that repair team slows down, weighed down by years of accumulated inflammation and slower cellular processes. What omega-3 fatty acids do is supply that crew with better equipment, fresh materials, and clearer instructions, so the job not only gets done, but gets done with less disruption and pain. Part of the reason omega-3s play such a pivotal role is their influence on the body's cell membranes. Think of each cell as a house, with the membrane acting as the flexible wall that lets nutrients in and waste out. As we age, those walls can become stiffer, less efficient, and less responsive. But when omega-3s are incorporated into the membrane, they increase its fluidity, improving communication between cells and allowing nutrients to reach the muscles more effectively. For older adults, that translates into a smoother recovery process because the nutrients needed to rebuild muscle tissue actually get where they need to go. There's also the fascinating link between omega-3s and muscle protein synthesis, the very process by which new muscle is built. Studies from clinical nutrition journals show that omega-3s can actually make muscles more responsive to the amino acids from protein. In practical terms, this means that when someone over 60 eats a protein-rich meal after exercise, say, grilled chicken with vegetables, those amino acids are more likely to be used effectively for muscle repair if omega-3s are present in the diet. Without them, some of that potential is lost. This synergy between protein and omega-3s creates an environment where muscle strength can be maintained and even enhanced, despite the natural decline that comes with age. Think about how crucial that is. After 60, maintaining muscle mass isn't just about looking fit. It's about independence, mobility, and reducing the risk of falls. Sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle, affects millions of older adults and can creep in quietly, leaving people weaker and more vulnerable. But omega-3s, by amplifying the effects of protein and reducing inflammation, directly combat this process. They help preserve muscle fibers, reduce the breakdown, and encourage new growth. It's not a miracle cure, but it is a scientifically supported tool in the fight against decline. Now, it's important to recognize that omega-3s don't work in isolation. They are part of a broader lifestyle pattern that includes movement, rest, and other nutrients. Still, their role is unique because of how many systems they touch. They support cardiovascular health, which ensures better circulation. They enhance brain function, which helps maintain motivation and mood, and they ease joint discomfort, which makes physical activity possible in the first place. When you view them through this lens, omega-3s are not just a muscle recovery aid. They're a cornerstone of aging well. Let's bring this down to a simple image. Imagine a 68-year-old woman who loves dancing. She goes to a community class twice a week, but often finds herself sore for days afterward, sometimes so much so that she skips her next session. She starts adding omega-3 rich foods, salmon once a week, mackerel another day, chia seed pudding for breakfast, walnuts as a snack. Within a few months, she notices that while she still feels the effort of dancing, the soreness fades faster. She's not skipping classes anymore. Instead, she's looking forward to them. What changed wasn't her age, but the internal chemistry of her muscles and joints. Her body, fueled by anti-inflammatory power, is working with her instead of against her. Skeptics might argue that food can only do so much, and that's true in part. Omega-3s won't erase every ache or reverse the natural process of aging. But the point is not perfection, it's improvement. Even a modest reduction in muscle soreness or a slightly faster recovery can add up to big changes in quality of life. It can be the difference between staying active and withdrawing from activity altogether. And the more active someone remains, the more the cycle of strength, resilience, and vitality continues. Another overlooked factor is the way omega-3s influence blood flow. They reduce triglycerides and improve the flexibility of blood vessels, allowing oxygen and nutrients to reach muscles more efficiently. During recovery, that increased circulation acts like a delivery service, bringing fuel where it's needed most. Better circulation also helps clear out waste products, like lactic acid, that contribute to soreness. This double effect, improved delivery and faster removal, makes the entire recovery cycle smoother. For anyone past 60, who may already struggle with slower circulation, this is not just beneficial, it's transformative. So when you picture muscle recovery after 60, don't imagine it as an uphill battle with no solutions. Instead, see it as a balance you can influence. Omega-3s are like adding strength to your side of the scale, tipping it away from chronic inflammation and toward healing. The foods are accessible, the science is solid, and the benefits ripple across the body. It's not about turning back the clock. It's about moving forward with energy, resilience, and confidence, knowing that your choices today shape your strength tomorrow. What surprises many people is how quickly the benefits of omega-3s can begin to make a difference once they are consistently introduced into the diet. While the deep cellular changes and long-term improvements in muscle resilience take weeks or even months. Some individuals report noticing reduced stiffness and quicker recovery in as little as a few weeks. That's because omega-3s begin working at multiple levels almost immediately, calming the inflammatory response, improving circulation, and supporting hormonal balance. For someone over 60, this can be the difference between dreading the discomfort after a walk and feeling encouraged to go a little further next time. And that encouragement fuels momentum, creating a cycle of consistency that is essential for maintaining strength with age. One of the most fascinating aspects of omega-3s is their relationship with the body's natural production of specialized pro-resolving mediators, or SPMs. These are compounds that don't just dampen inflammation, but actively signal the body to end it once healing is underway. Imagine a construction crew again. SPMs act like the foreman who calls out, "The job is done, let's pack up and go." Without this clear stop signal, inflammation lingers, turning from helpful to harmful. Omega-3 fatty acids, especially EPA and DHA found in marine sources, are the building blocks of these SPMs. For older adults whose bodies may be less efficient at resolving inflammation, omega-3s provide the raw material to complete the healing process. That means muscles recover not only faster, but also more completely. reducing the risk of small injuries accumulating into larger problems over time. And let's not forget the heart of the issue: movement itself. Movement is medicine, but it's only effective when the body feels capable of sustaining it. Too many older adults step back from exercise because the recovery feels daunting. But with omega-3 support, the soreness is less sharp, the stiffness fades more quickly, and the confidence to keep moving remains intact. That confidence matters. It determines whether someone continues to take morning walks, joins group exercise classes, or engages in hobbies like cycling, swimming, or dancing. Over time, those choices add up, not only to stronger muscles, but also to a healthier heart, a sharper brain, and a more joyful life. You might be wondering, what are the best ways to actually get enough omega-3s into the diet without overcomplicating things? The beauty of these nutrients is that they are both versatile and accessible. A serving of salmon, sardines, or mackerel 2 to 3 times a week provides a strong foundation. For those who don't enjoy fish, plant-based sources like chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, and walnuts offer alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, which the body can convert, though less efficiently, into EPA and DHA. Even still, those foods deliver benefits beyond omega-3s, including fiber, antioxidants, and essential minerals that further support recovery and health. Consistency is key. Eating a piece of salmon once in a while won't create lasting change, just as exercising once in a while won't build lasting strength. But making omega-3 rich foods a routine part of meals establishes a steady supply for the body to draw upon. Think of it like filling a reservoir. Each meal contributes a little more, and over time, that reservoir sustains you through the ups and downs of physical activity and aging. Supplements, too, can play a role, especially for those who struggle to meet their needs through diet alone. High-quality fish oil or algae oil capsules can ensure a reliable intake, though they should be chosen carefully with attention to purity and dosage. The bigger picture here is empowerment. Too often, aging is framed as an inevitable decline, a slow narrowing of what the body can do. But the science of nutrition shows us that decline is not fixed. It can be slowed, softened, and in many cases, reversed. Omega-3s are not the only factor, but they are a profound one. They give older adults the chance to push back against inflammation, reclaim recovery, and keep doing the things that make life meaningful. Whether it's playing with grandchildren, tending to a garden, or traveling the world, strength and resilience are what keep those experiences alive. Now consider the ripple effect. A 62-year-old man starts eating more omega-3 rich foods and notices less stiffness after playing tennis with friends. Because he feels better, he plays more often. His improved circulation and reduced inflammation support not just his muscles, but also his heart health, lowering his risk of cardiovascular events. His improved mood, because yes, omega-3s also support mental health, makes him more social, more motivated, more alive. All of this stems from a nutrient that many people overlook or dismiss as just another healthy fat. But in reality, it's a catalyst for transformation. There is something powerful in knowing that the foods you choose today can reshape the way your body feels tomorrow. It's a reminder that control doesn't vanish with age. It simply requires more attention, more consistency, and more intention. And while no single nutrient is a magic bullet, omega-3s come remarkably close to being the missing link for older adults who want not just to survive, but to thrive in their 60s and beyond. If there's one message that deserves to be repeated until it sinks in, it's this: inflammation is not just about what you feel today, it's about what shapes your body tomorrow. For someone over 60, every bout of soreness, every episode of stiffness, every small injury that lingers longer than expected is part of a bigger story. That story is written in the balance between inflammation and recovery, between decline and renewal, And omega-3 fatty acids sit right at the heart of this balance, influencing not only how you heal, but how you age. What makes this so important is the way chronic inflammation silently drains the body's vitality. Unlike the sharp pain of an acute injury, low-grade inflammation doesn't always scream for attention. It hums in the background. Slightly swollen joints, nagging muscle tightness, fatigue that feels out of proportion to activity. Over years, that quiet hum erodes strength, leaving muscles weaker, bones more fragile, and motivation diminished. But the anti-inflammatory power of omega-3s works against this slow erosion, giving older adults a tangible way to push back against the invisible forces of aging. It's not just muscles that benefit. Omega-3s interact with hormones like cortisol and insulin, which play major roles in recovery. Cortisol, often called the stress hormone, rises after intense activity to help with repair. But when it stays elevated for too long, it can actually break down muscle. Omega-3s help regulate this response, preventing cortisol from lingering and causing damage. Similarly, by improving insulin sensitivity, omega-3s ensure that glucose and amino acids move efficiently into muscle cells, where they are needed for energy and repair. For older adults, who are often more vulnerable to insulin resistance, this hormonal support is a game changer. And then there's the mental aspect. Anyone who has struggled with soreness knows how it affects motivation. If you know you'll pay with 3 days of stiffness after a simple walk, it's tempting to skip the walk altogether. That avoidance feeds a cycle of inactivity that only worsens health. But when omega-3s ease soreness, the decision to stay active feels easier. This psychological lift, feeling capable, not limited, cannot be overstated. It's not just about muscles healing faster. It's about restoring the belief that your body can still support the life you want to live. Think of the 70-year-old woman who loves hiking, but is slowed down because of aching knees and prolonged recovery. By making small but consistent dietary shifts, adding sardines to her salads, using ground flaxseed in her baking, and occasionally taking a high-quality fish oil supplement, she notices her knees don't swell as much and her muscles recover more quickly. That renewed confidence allows her to keep hiking with friends, staying socially connected, physically strong, and emotionally uplifted. Her story isn't about magic or luck. It's about giving her body the right tools at the right time. It's worth noting, too, that not all omega-3s are equal. While plant-based sources provide valuable ALA, the conversion into EPA and DHA, the forms most directly tied to anti-inflammatory and muscle-supporting benefits, is limited. That's why marine sources, such as fatty fish or algae-based supplements, often deliver the most noticeable results. For those who avoid fish, algae oil offers a plant-based alternative that provides the crucial EPA and DHA directly, ensuring the body doesn't have to work as hard to convert them. But beyond sources and conversions, the bigger picture is about integration into lifestyle. Omega-3s are most powerful when they are part of a balanced approach. Adequate protein intake, regular strength and flexibility training, quality sleep, and mindful stress management. Each of these elements interacts with the others, but omega-3s provide the foundation by calming inflammation and optimizing recovery. Without that foundation, even the best training program or sleep routine can feel sabotaged by persistent soreness and fatigue. At 60 and beyond, recovery is not just a physical process, it's an act of resilience. Every time the body repairs itself, it's asserting that age does not define capacity. Omega-3s amplify that resilience, helping muscles adapt, grow stronger, and stay functional. They are the silent ally, working behind the scenes, not demanding attention, but delivering results. And perhaps the most powerful truth is this: it's never too late to start. Even if someone has gone decades with minimal omega-3 intake, beginning today can still make a meaningful difference. The body is always ready to respond to nourishment, always prepared to move toward healing when given the right support. So, the choice stands clearly before anyone in their 60s, 70s, or even beyond. Continue letting inflammation dictate the pace of life, or reclaim control by fueling recovery with the foods nature designed to heal. It doesn't take complicated regimens or drastic measures. It takes intention, consistency, and the simple but profound act of choosing what to put on your plate. And once that choice becomes habit, the results speak louder than words. Smoother recovery, stronger muscles, more energy, and above all, a renewed sense of freedom. Freedom to move, freedom to engage, freedom to live fully without the constant drag of soreness or stiffness. That freedom is not only possible, it is waiting just a few meals away. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like it to support the channel. Share it with your loved ones who might need this information, and subscribe so you won't miss our upcoming content on health, nutrition, and how to stay strong and energized after 60. Your health deserves attention, and this journey starts right here.